Let's roll.
All right, 4 o'clock, let's go ahead and get the drainage committee meeting started. Let the record reflect that all members are present besides Mr. Patterson. Item number 1, update on Lower Texas Drainage Project. Mr. Bro,
Yes, you working on it, still working?
still working on it. Yes, sir. Good.
I'll make a motion on that.
No, but I know, but I just want it up there.
All right,
I don't know the status of it, I know they gotten to from the lake to the bridge, now they're up the bridge, coming to the fields. Then I guess Joseph would have to.
all right, item number 2, update on the Murray Drainage Project. Any update?
Same thing. A motion on that.
Everything, every time.
You're working on that too. Good.
Continue for a few more years.
All right. Item number 3, consider replacement to the Landry subdivision.
No,
Not
Not
have a
yet.
replacement yet. All right, let's table item number 3.
That's it?
Yep.
Make a motion.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Mathern.
Second.
Second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
All right, it's 4-1, we'll get the finance committee meeting started. Let the record reflect all members are present. Request approval of the list of bills submitted through December 12th, 2025. Motion by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to pay all bills submitted from December 12th through end of year. Motion by Mr. Nakane,
Second.
second by Mr. Pondville. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request reallocation of $55.42 from Gomesa Platteville project to Gomesa Shell Beach project.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Nakane. All in favor?
Right.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to accept 2026 annual bids for public works, mosquito abatement chemicals, and mosquito abatement aerial contingency spraying.
Actually, as you can see from last year, it's a decrease
Increases are good.
per foot,
For,
culverts and.
No, I thought you said mosquito. Yeah, that's from mosquitoes.
Yeah, you got, it says public words also,
Say
no?
mosquitoes.
it's all three of them.
Says public words also.
I thought so. Justin, on the chemical that we're spraying, this is the same chemical again this year?
It's, I rebid the same ones every year. The one we spray most of them went down a few cents. Most of the others went up a few cents, but the one we mainly spray went down.
Are we gonna switch up any?
We didn't this year because it was a light year. The year before we did. It's just gonna depend on the population and the need. Taking on a year by year basis.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Carter. Before I get the second, do we verify that all of these vendors are in good standing?
Yes, Mr. Dickey does. On our side.
So the motion by Mr. Carter, is there a second? Second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Presentation of budget message for proposed budgets for 2026.
Yes, this is included in your packet. I'm not gonna read it for you, but I would ask that you all read it on your own time. It is supposed to be associated with the 2026 budgets. Those will be adopted at our January 14th meeting after the public hearings. It's basically a summary of what we previously discussed.
Right.
No action required. You don't want to.
Anyone have any questions for the proposed budget, for the budget statement? All right. No action on that item. Request approval of final amended budgets for 2025.
Okay, these are the final 2025 amended budgets that I present to you. Total revenues, I'm sorry, yeah, total revenues, a grand total, which would be your general fund, special revenue funds, debt service funds, and enterprise funds. Total revenues, $25,164,993. Total expenditures, $24,105,179. Excess of $1,059,814. Transfers in, $3,385,850. Transfers out, $3,383,186. Beginning fund balance, $36,850,266. Ending fund balance, $37,915,145. Ending fund balance with adjustments for the enterprise zone funds, $38,375,668. General fund, total revenues, $2,949,938. Total expenditures, $2,546,429. Transfers in, $46,036. Transfers out, $739,056. Beginning fund balance, $1,804,068. Ending fund balance, $1,514,557. 1% sales tax, total revenues, $3,873,419. Total expenditures, $1,837,589. Transfers out, $1,041,037. Beginning fund balance, $6,768,292. Ending fund balance, $7,763,085. Road and Bridge, total revenues, $316,139. Total expenditures, $1,942,627. Transfers in, $1,394,400. Beginning fund balance, $1,427,847. Ending fund balance, $1,195,759. Off-duty officer fund, total revenues, $31,413. Total expenditures, $6,040. Transfers out, $27,000. Beginning fund balance, $22,247. Ending fund balance, $20,620. Criminal court fund, total revenues, $229,567. Total expenditures, $402,730. Transfers in, $173,500. Transfers out, $169. Beginning fund balance, $0. Ending fund balance, $168.
Comment on that. Police Jury Association. Trying to propose some legislation to the governing body to try to get parishes some assistance with the criminal court fund. We ain't the only one suffering. It's all around the state. It's so we'll see what happens. We'll probably have more talk about it at the convention.
Okay. Library fund, total revenues, $1,479,306. Total expenditures, $1,147,854. Beginning fund balance, $3,879,037. Ending fund balance, $4,210,489. Road lighting district number 1, total revenues, $206,764. Total expenditures, $81,413. Beginning fund balance, $1,171,816. Ending fund balance, $1,297,167. Consolidated road lighting number 1, total revenues, $121,110. Total expenditures, $62,078. Beginning fund balance, $461,037. Ending fund balance, $520,069. OEP federal grants, total revenues, $1,098,462. Total expenditures, $1,344,741. Transfers in, $350,870. Beginning fund balance, $2,497,131. Ending fund balance, $2,601,722. Office of Emergency Preparedness, total revenues, $170,370. Total expenditures, $365,300. Transfers in, $170,000. Beginning fund balance, $76,813. Ending fund balance, $51,883. Road, half cent sales tax, the road fund, total revenues, $1,456,937. Total expenditures, $122,641. Transfers out, $475,000. Beginning fund balance, $2,487,550. Ending fund balance, $3,346,846. Partisan sales tax, drainage fund, total revenues, $776,592. Total expenditures, $1,054,194. Transfers in, $2,223. Transfers out, $54,049. Beginning fund balance, $1,770,877. Ending fund balance, $1,441,449. 911 communications, total revenues, $229,776. Total expenditures, $226,456. Beginning fund balance, $458,107. Ending fund balance, $461,427. Consolidated Fire District, Pierpont, Bell River, total revenues, $347,769. Total expenditures, $356,125. Transfers out $1,000. Beginning fund balance, $286,550. Ending fund balance, $277,194. Consolidated Fire District, Pankerville Department, total revenues, $347,753. Total expenditures, $356,106. Transfers out of $1,000. Beginning fund balance, $286,547. Ending fund balance, $277,194. Consolidated Fire District, Napoleonville Department, total revenues, $307,426. Total expenditures, $315,595. Transfers out of $1,000. Beginning fund balance, $250,947. Ending fund balance, $241,778. Consolidated Fire District, Bayou Lewis District, total revenues, $185,777. Total expenditures, $188,837. Transfers out of $1,000. Beginning fund balance, $144,067. Ending fund balance, $140,007. Council on Aging, total revenues, $1,300,162. Total expenditures, $1,328,004. Beginning fund balance, $1,064,897. Ending fund balance, $1,037,055. Consolidated Fire District, Labatteville Department, total revenues, $261,389. Total expenditures, $281,128. Transfers out $1,000. Beginning fund balance, $199,273. Ending fund balance, $178,534. Public Buildings Fund, total revenues, $393,194. Total expenditures, $439,438. Beginning fund balance, $1,147,754. Ending fund balance, $1,101,510. LA Cooperative Extension Service, total revenues, $301,274. Total expenditures, $375,375. Beginning fund balance, $1,163,841. Ending fund balance, $1,089,740. Library Board Fund, total revenues, $23,806. Total expenditures, $10,472. Beginning fund balance, $36,957. Ending fund balance, $50,291. Lower Bell River Drainage District number 12, total revenues, $2,158. Total expenditures, $1,088. Beginning fund balance, $12,438. Ending fund balance, $13,508. Labatteville Drainage District number 3, total revenues, $3,112. Total expenditures, $361. Beginning fund balance, $30,619. Ending fund balance, $33,370. Monterey Drainage District, total revenues, $418. Total expenditures, $20. Beginning fund balance, $12,046. Ending fund balance, $12,444. Part-Time Drainage District, total revenues, $926. Total expenditures, $20. Beginning fund balance, $26,506. Ending fund balance, $27,412. Landry Subdivision Drainage District, total revenues, $24,544. Total expenditures, $11,711. Beginning fund balance, $46,488. Ending fund balance, $59,321. Oak Ridge Subdivision Drainage District, total revenues, $6,609. Total expenditures, $4,611. Beginning fund balance, $23,272. Ending fund balance, $25,270. Northwest Side LA 70 Drainage District, total revenues, $6,230. Total expenditures, $6,499. Beginning fund balance, $6,272. Ending fund balance, $6,003. Knott's Gravity Drainage District, total revenues, $3,525. Total expenditures, $3,399. Beginning fund balance, $22,091. Ending fund balance, $22,217. LA 70 to Lee Drive, total revenues, $12,218. Total expenditures, $4,775. Beginning fund balance, $46,502. Ending fund balance, $53,945. Pierpont Bell River Veterans Park, total revenues, $417,029. Total expenditures, $334,702. Transfers in, $3,837. Transfers out, $100,106. Beginning fund balance, $461,442. Ending fund balance, $447,500. Assumption Gravity Drainage District number 2, total revenue, $17,237. Total expenditures, $3,659. Beginning fund balance, $245,759. Ending fund balance, $259,337. Assumption gravity drainage number 5. Total revenues, $2,313. Total expenditures, $128. Beginning fund balance, $48,076. Ending fund balance, $50,261. Bertrandville Recreation District, total revenues, $88. Total expenditures, $10. Beginning fund balance, $2,543. Ending fund balance, $2,621. Bayou Pierpont North Drainage District, total revenue, $763. Total expenditures, $1,509. Beginning fund balance, $2,253. Ending fund balance, $1,507. Pierpont Settlement Drainage District, total revenues, $141. Total expenditures, $1,017. Beginning fund balance, $4,182. Ending fund balance, $3,306. Mesa Bonds, total revenues, $258,804. Total expenditures, $473,449. Transfers in, $2,415. Transfers out, $939,424. Beginning fund balance, $6,933,241. Ending fund balance, $5,781,587. Lower Texas Drainage District, total revenues, $6,161. Total expenditures, $2,526. Beginning fund balance, $22,173. Ending fund balance, $25,808. Ward 1 Recreation, total revenues, $23,899. Total expenditures, $26,000. Beginning fund balance, $15,053. Ending fund balance, $12,952. Opioid abatement, total revenues, $149,248. Expenditures, $0. Beginning fund balance, $299,824. Ending fund balance, $449,072. Bayou Lewis Gravity Drainage District, total revenues, $73,428. Total expenditures, $85,289. Transfers out, $2,223. Beginning fund balance, $122,266. Ending fund balance, $108,182. Bayou Lewis Recreation District, total revenues, $290,863. Total expenditures, $381,171. Transfers in, $14,950. Beginning fund balance, $560,665. Ending fund balance, $485,307. Gulfport Bell River Bond Sinking Fund, total revenues, $69. Total expenditures, $98,933. Transfers in, $98,933. Beginning fund balance, $148. Ending fund balance, $217. Solid waste, total revenues, $3,325,051. Total expenditures, $2,759,743. Transfers in, $20,399. Beginning fund balance, $5,517. Ending fund balance, $593,105. With the enterprise adjustments, ending fund balance, $593,105. OEP Special Industry, total revenues, $85,450. Total expenditures, $95,692. Beginning fund balance, $129,185. Ending fund balance, $91,713. Excuse me. With enterprise adjustments, ending fund balance, $415,086. Mosquito abatement, total revenues, $355,451. Expenditures, $247,149. Beginning fund balance, $254,177. Ending fund balance, $390,229. With enterprise adjustments, total fund balance, $527,379. Consolidated Sewer District, total revenues, $154,170. Expenditures, $258,097. Transfers in, $95,298. Beginning fund balance, $43,629. Ending fund balance, $35,000. With adjustments, the same ending fund balance. Gulfport Bell River Bond Construction Fund, total revenues, $4,885. Total expenditures, $210,045. Bond proceeds, $1 million. Transfers out, $794,839. Beginning and ending fund balance, 0. Community Development Fund, total revenues, $3,438. Total expenditures, $355,429. Transfers in, $351,886. Transfers out, $122. Beginning fund balance, $20,468. Ending fund balance, $20,241. Energy Assistance Program, total revenues, $250,245. Total expenditures, $250,367. Transfers in $122, beginning and ending fund balance zero. Emergency food and shelter, total revenues. Oh, all activity is zeroed out for the year. Section 8 housing, total revenues $707,568. Total expenditures $670,178. Beginning fund balance $47,762. Ending fund balance $85,152. Community services block grant. Total revenues $63,371. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance zero. No activity for the Conscient Canal, it was zeroed out. Same thing for the Bayou St. Vincent project. It's moved to a capital project, is for the auditors. Capital outlay Platteville drainage, total revenues $1,371,416. Total expenditures $1,967,970. Transfers in $596,554, beginning and ending fund balance zero. Capital outlay Assumption Parish pumps and drainage zeroed out, moved to 2026. Capital outlay Shell Beach Boat launch. Total revenues $490,354. Total expenditures $493,923. Transfers in $3,569, beginning and ending fund balance zero. Capital outlay Grant Park, total revenues $12,188. Total expenditures $16,250. Transfers in $4,062, beginning and ending fund balance zero. Community Action Agency Advisory Board, no activity for the year, beginning and ending fund balance $14. Line item appropriation fire hydrants, total revenues $227,875. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance zero. LaGap Community Water Enrichment Fund, raw water intake, total revenues $125,000. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance zero. LaGap Courthouse renovations, total revenues $17,642. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance zero. LaGap Trucks and Enclosed Trailer, total revenues $75,000. Expenditures $118,634. Transfers in $43,634, beginning and ending fund balance zero. LaGap Community Water Enrichment Fund, elevated storage tanks rehab, total revenues $140,000. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance zero. Recreation Trails Program, Belrose Library Walking Trail, total revenues $52,648. Total expenditures $65,810. Transfers in $13,162, beginning and ending fund balance zero. CDBG Disaster Recovery Conscient Canal Project Budget, total revenues $3,705,587. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance zero. CDBG Project Budget for Bayou St. Vincent, total revenues $9,080,000. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance zero. Land and Water Conservation Fund Project Budget, total revenues $1 million. Total expenditures $1,694,844. Transfers in $694,844, beginning and ending fund balance zero. American Rescue Act Project Budget, total revenues $4,252,070. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance zero. American Rescue Act Water Sector Program Project Budget has been zeroed out for this year. Line item appropriation, Gilbert Tupata Park Rehab Project Budget, total revenue $600,000. Expenditures the same, beginning and ending fund balance zero. I do present you the final amended 2025 budgets.
Yep. Anyone have any other questions? Motion to accept by Mr. Nakam. Second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to adjourn.
I
I
have
have a deviation, regarding, we received the memorandum of understanding from Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office regarding, female inmates.
it's a renewal to expire December 31st, and I just got it yesterday, so.
A motion to deviate? Motion by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll now deviate. Kim, I didn't have the last year's,
This is-
with the rate increase.
This is
was.
the rate as identified by the state that they're allowed to charge. It's the updated rate. It is a slight increase. It's nothing, unfortunately, that we can dispute.
We ain't got no room in the jail for it.
They can't
Not
help it.
Not housing the females.
Not can't go.
Put a wall, put a wall.
Mike, have you had a chance to review it?
Yeah, if it's the same one as last year, yes, I have no issues with it.
In the space we ain't using.
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Mr. Nakam, second by Mr. Alcorn. Any public comment on this item? Second call. Last call, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Entertain a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Pineville, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Finance Committee meeting adjourned.
All right, it's 4:25. We'll get the personnel committee meeting started. Item number one, discussed end of 6 months probationary period for the parish manager.
That probation ended on December 12th, so we need official acceptance to get him out of his probationary period.
Motion to take him out of probation
Motion.
period.
Motion by Mr. Nakane. Second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Nays? Motion passed. Item two, discuss the end of 6 months probationary period for the general maintenance worker.
I had a discussion with this employee and let him know where we stand and some things that I need to see improvement with, but I am good to end this probationary period.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion approved. Item three, request, FMLA leave for Special Assistant Secretary Treasurer for 4 weeks in 2026.
And before y'all, we going into a new calendar year, so everything that was approved for 2025 has to get approved for 2026 under new certification. So, this is for the remaining of the leave for 2026.
Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Nakane. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passed. Item four, request approved to ratify the hiring of a custodian at a grade 1, step 28.5.
Yes, we talked about this at the last meeting and you did give us, the authorization to proceed. I'd like to ratify the hiring of Ms. Vanisha Martin at a grade 1, step 28.5.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passed. Item five.
No action.
Item six, request approval of increased pay for an equipment operator of 1.
Gentlemen, I provided y'all with a sheet and a brief statement on this employee and what he's accomplished.
Did you,
I spoke with Ms. Kim about it.
I know, but when you hired him, what was he,
I didn't hire him at that time, but
was it?
from what I've seen, he's demonstrated a high level of productivity and his work shows in the parish. And he also took the pesticide applicators certification class and passed it. He is now a certified pesticide applicator for the parish.
You know, was incentivized for him to do it based knowing that he may get a.
I didn't make any promises.
I got you, yeah, you can't.
No, sir.
How much of it? Like $1. It'll do it, Mike.
About 32.
About a 32.
So as an equipment operator, what, is primarily the pesticide applicator that he operates?
Well, that's what he was hired as, to perform pesticide applicator, but he has been putting down speed bumps with those guys on the roads. And, he really hasn't ran equipment, the portion of it, but they consider the pesticide truck as equipment because it's gas operated, it's pumps. And it's a system, and he's actually repaired the truck on his own. We had leaks, he replaced the O-rings on the front, he replaced the actuators. He's maintenance the truck without any interference from anybody else. He's done a phenomenal job. Very seldom hear anything, and his paperwork's on point.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Nakane. All in favor? Any nays? Motion passed. Item 7. Discuss request for extended leave for custodian for 2026.
Okay, you'll notice the different wording on this one versus number 3. This individual did not provide the necessary paperwork for FMLA for 2026, so this would be just a leave of absence. So there's no job protection associated with this leave.
So motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Nakane. All in favor? Nays? Motion passed. Item 8, discuss request for extended leave for equipment operator one for 2026.
The same for this employee. This employee was out on FMLA for 2025, requested additional leave, did not provide the proper paperwork. So therefore, going into 2026, this employee is technically out on leave of absence with no job protection.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mrs. Blanchard, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion passed. Item 9, request approval of FMLA leave for equipment operator 3 drainage estimator for 4 weeks in 2026.
This employee did provide the additional certification needed, so this would be considered qualified FMLA leave for 4 weeks in 2026.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passed. How many weeks of FMLA leave does?
12 per year.
12 per
So
year.
now we're going into another calendar year.
So it starts all over again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 per calendar year.
Yep.
So you take the whole month of, December and.
But you gotta have the doctor certifications to back
Gotta
it.
have
If you
people.
don't have the paperwork to back it, to substantiate it, then it's not considered FMLA.
Yeah.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Blanchard,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Just keep in mind on that note, just off the record, that to qualify for FMLA leave, you have to meet minimum requirements of being employed with the parish by at least a year and working at least 1,250 hours the previous year. So if an employee is out for extended period in 1 year and roll into the next year, if they hadn't worked that 1,250 hours, they are not eligible. So there's multiple things we have to check.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with the road and bridge committee meeting. Let the record reflect that all members are present except for Mr. Patero. One item, discuss bids received for the road of Lincoln. Joseph.
Yeah, Chairman, I apologize that we're just handing this out to you. We worked through the week we had a short week because of Christmas and we were pushing to get the budget numbers to you. You all had tasked me, with bringing the budget down to approximately $2.8 million. Based on the unit prices that we received 2 bids, one from Epic Paving LLC and one from Barry A Construction. And at this time, based on the budgets that were presented to you, we are recommending acceptance of Epic Paving LLC's unit prices for the 2026 year for the 2026 road program.
Epic.
It's Epic Paving LLC. They're out of Port Allen. They've done extensive work in local parishes of this similar in size. The other company was Barry A. There was approximately about a $1 million difference between the 2 bids when comparing them on a price level basis. So according to the unit prices, Epic Paving would be the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. And we compared that to the previous budgets that we had provided to you. The total budget cost, when we provided it, was $3.6 million based on the estimate. When we applied Epic Paving's unit prices, it came back at approximately 4.2 million in total. So we proceeded to make recommendations as far as cuts for it to bring the budget within the 2.8 as we were, or as close to the 2.8 as we could get it. The cuts are based on basically the road conditions as we assess them. And we tried to to spread the money evenly across the wards. You can look, the quickest way for you to decipher this, and I realize you are just getting these numbers, so please feel free to absorb them and call me, after you've had time to look at them and look at everything. you know, I understand that these numbers are just being put before you. But to give you an idea, at $2.8 million, that puts an even spread of $312,000 per ward. The final sheet in this summary, you'll see a 2026 ward summary. The first column in there is the total estimated budget if we were to just go with all of these 71 roads that were submitted. And at full cost and full design. The alternate cost savings were the areas where we could possibly have some savings and do the micro paving in some areas and in some cases where we could do alternate base designs and so forth, where it was allowable by the conditions. And then the proposed cuts you see are then over to the right in red. If you go to each individual ward summaries, you will see to the column to the right, if you see there is an X, that means if there's an X with no number, that means we are recommending that that road be completely removed from the budget at this time to keep it within budget. And if you see an X with a number, we're simply recommending that we do base patching or base patch or finish patching on that particular road at this time to bring it within budget, so that next year the road would be prepared for the final overlay as the total as money becomes available.
What was considered for Oakley Road?
Oakley Road,
Going on down now.
Hmm?
You gonna pave it?
you had it proposed for pavement, but that is one of the ones that we're proposing to cut because it is currently gravel. We just don't have the budget to pave it.
In the little section by the house.
Yes. Keep in mind that those gravel roads, especially in the farm to market areas, where they are completely gravel, we've looked in the years past, and some of you know this, where we've tried to come in and just do simple asphalt bases and overlays in those areas. It would not last. The proposed paving for those roads, we are proposing to do a sol cement base to actually build a sufficient base and finish pavement. I can't come to you and recommend that we come in and do slight overlays on roads where we know that heavy truck traffic or even farm equipment traffic is possible, because it's not serving you. It only comes back to haunt you and cost you more later.
Laurel Valley is a prime example.
Laurel Ridge is a
Laurel Ridge.
prime example. We had the same issues with Simmons Road over the years. And you can go to those roads where we put the sol cement down, it's holding. And if you look at Laurel Ridge, when we came back the second year, we put the sol cement and that section is holding fine. Where they extended the pavement, where it's just over the base, it's failing.
Then you go back to gravel, probably.
So
So on Laurel Ridge, I see that it is on the list to be repaved.
Mhm.
Is that one that the base is gonna be repaired
the
whenever it is?
what we're proposing there for Laurel Ridge, because it is, the back section is failing significantly and actually causing some traverse issues there. We're not touching the front section where it was already sol cemented. We're just going to that back section. We're gonna cut and remove that out. We're actually gonna pulverize that surface into the base with cement to build and make a sufficient base there. Because we found that to be successful, where that has been done in the past, that has been successful and held up.
You will
And
cut
the front-
cement into that one. You will saw cement. on it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The back section only where it didn't receive it prior.
And how far to the new house?
Yes, sir.
That's that.
Right. Well, it would go, it would extend to where it ties into that driveway. Yes, sir.
So I do have a question, and I don't know, Jeff, maybe you can help get some communication with Waste Pro on this. It appears that we have a lot more damage. It's happened more frequently with the newer garbage trucks. I don't know if there's a weight difference with the garbage trucks or or something on the parish roads?
I can speak to that, some of that, and kind of give you, it's my 2 cents engineering opinion on what's happening there. Anytime that we've had heavy truck equipment, especially garbage trucks, you see the failures occur when the truck stops and makes a turn and then proceeds into that turn. The weight of the truck actually, and I've seen it happen on a hot summer day, will actually rip the asphalt because it's like trying to turn a car without power steering. It's dragging that asphalt with it. The reason you're seeing additional failures, and this is strictly my opinion, is now instead of the garbage truck just coming to a dead stop on the road, the normal guys would jump off the truck and throw the thing in the back. These trucks are veering off the edge of the road or veering slightly to the right so they can pick up that can. And when they go to pull back out, it's the nature of the beast. I'm not blaming the waste company.
No, and
It's-
also
it's-
too, they going down the street twice. If
Yes.
all the garbage can be on one side of the street, there'll be a lot less traffic on that street.
We have several streets where they've taken to do that. The street I live on is actually one of them, Ella Road. They put them all on one side and it does help. Cause it restricts that truck to one traverse down the road.
You see the failures mostly in curves and corners where they may have a resident.
Where they gotta make a stop or a turn or.
Yeah, they gotta make, but that's where you see, that's where I've seen most of the failures in my
That's where
area.
most of your failures occur. You're correct.
Yeah.
And look, that was my opinion on just what we've seen.
Yeah, I know, and some of the ones that I've seen, it is off center of the road where the garbage truck tracks, you know, to pick up those cans. And I don't know, maybe in some of these, you know, there may be another solution for the curve where we have these failures, you know, maybe cement would be better instead of asphalt in those troublesome areas.
And that's possible. Yes, sir.
I understand.
I mean.
Right,
because
yeah,
you
not
have
the
a
whole
stronger
street.
base, the initial cost may be a little more, but in the
Right,
long
but
run.
in the long run, you're better off.
I think we'll be
I'll give you
better
an
off.
example where that was done. I'm trying to remember the name of the subdivision. It's towards the outskirts of Napoleonville, Leisure Drive. You look at Leisure Drive, they actually, where those entrance radiuses come in, they concreted just the entrance radiuses. It's actually asphalt still in the center and it's got a concrete curb that comes up and it's fairly thick, and that was the reason they were doing it. That's the reason they did it, is the garbage truck would come to and go to make that turn out, and it was continually failing. So that is something that is done, and we've done it here. So that is something you may want to consider.
And what is happening also there is the garbage truck is veering more towards the side of the road than staying towards the center of the road to be able to go out and reach.
And your edges by
The other way
nature
is-
are weaker.
Before this, the garbage truck was staying in the center of the road,
Guy was
especially
jumping off the truck.
in the smaller
Yeah.
subdivisions in the neighborhoods.
You know, and it's slight, you know, but it's enough that, you know, that extra turn or that extra veer of the truck is
It's digging.
over
It is,
time,
it
it takes its toll. One of the things I spoke to a couple of you about also that we've noticed is utility companies cutting the parish roads, in particularly the gas companies. I think that we need to identify that we have identified several areas where that has happened and they have not come back and repaired the road properly. That is something that we may want to pursue. I know when it comes to the waterworks, we've always worked with them, but the waterworks has usually been very good at either putting in a concrete, they have a set designated patch for parish roads that they typically use, and it's a concrete patch and it works well. So I'm not saying the waterworks is the culprit, but we have identified several roads where we have patching. And we can see where the utility companies, and it's either gotta be, sometimes it's foam, sometimes it's gas, but they're cutting across the parish roads and only backfilling with limestone and leaving. So
Unacceptable.
we'll assist you. We can identify these areas that are in these patching things. I would suggest that once we identify whichever utility company that is, whether it's, you know, I'm not picking on anybody in particular, whether it's Atmos, AT&T, or whoever it is, I would suggest you consider possibly sending them an invoice for the repair, because they would be responsible for that.
Yeah, well, I think we have on some of these, we have a good cost estimate, what it takes to repair them, so.
Yes, sir.
We have a good number.
Yes, sir.
So Brian, do you have, access to those permits that were applied to by those companies? Because they need to get a permit prior to cutting the road, right?
Nope.
No, and a lot of times they bust our sewer lines and we end up cutting it because we gotta take care of the residents immediately.
They've never
Actually, it
made-
happened on the back end of Bell Road Lane.
They've never made us aware when they do anything.
No, they don't.
Well, we had extensive
They have
problems.
servitude right away where they can just, and they, well, they come on and they apply their servitude and they've never contacted us in my years of being in public works.
I can tell you on the Plineville Drainage Project, Mr. Alcorn and myself went back and forth several times with Atmos Gas because they were actually crossing our right of way. And in that particular project, we had it line itemed out where we're crossing their right of way. We had money in the budget. We paid the contractor to lower the water lines. The parish owned utilities in their right of way. When it came to the gas lines crossing our drainage right of way and we needed it lowered, they fought us. We did have some success there because we basically put our foot down and said, look, you either gotta move your line or we're gonna cut it. Because it's in our servitude, or in the parish servitude, I should say. So there needs to be, in my opinion, I would suggest that you pursue that because it turns, it's a small cost that turns into a large cost over time.
The only thing I don't like, man, you got, Cyber Street is real bad, it's halfway gravel right now, and you cut 40,000 off of that street. That hurts.
And I've had a conversation with,
I got a lot of streets in my ward, a lot of parish streets to be cut.
I had a conversation with Joseph about this before, something that when you get 100+ degree days coming to asphalt, and the class that I took, the binder basically softens, and then the road will start breaking itself. We had an extremely drought year, and according to the statistics, about 85% of roads started failing because it softened the roads up when they dried out.
He's correct. Anytime you have an extreme condition such as a
Well,
drought.
the same problem when it rains a lot too, so.
Well, when the road cracks, Myron, and the rain
Yeah.
gets in it, it's gonna break apart.
Yeah.
We're doing, we design.
But, and that's where we're coming in with the more of the solid cement basis, is that holds up better than the pliable asphalt basis.
I see some cuts on here, especially in Ward 8. I mean, some of these roads are in very, very bad shape.
Gentlemen, let me say this. None of the roads submitted were frivolous. I'm gonna say, every road that was submitted is, and I will say it, especially wards 8 and 9, all of the roads were in dire need of repair. I'm not denying that at all. They have some, Ward 8 has some extremely bad areas that need some very serious attention. But when I'm tasked with the position of, hey, you got a $4 million thing here, we gotta cut it to 2.8 or 2.9. I've got to cut somewhere. So, in looking at it, and you can look at the numbers, we had close to 900,000 in Ward 8, close to 800,000 in Ward 9, so I had to make, it's a tough decision. I'm not, and it is a recommendation. You all have the authority and the power to do what you need to do. I'm not here to tell you that just because a road was cut, it doesn't need to get done. I'm just trying to get you within a workable budget that's within your means.
Do you see some of these roads, because our soil conditions are gonna be totally different than.
100%.
Do you see some of these roads in the other parts of the parish that could wait another year or so to be done?
Yes, and that's why we use that's the, if you look.
That's on this current list.
Correct. However, I state if they were not, if that current ward was significantly already under the budget, there was no proposal to cut there, Jamie.
So I'm just looking at it from the needs of the roads to be fixed, not just by
Understood.
a $315,000 budget for all 9 wards. I'm just looking at it, prioritizing the roads to be fixed.
Mhm.
Do you see any roads in any other wards?
You ain't gonna see that, man.
They can
They can wait.
Jamie, Absolutely, there are roads that could wait. There
Just
are
by
roads-
prioritizing
Just,
things.
just, looking at it from standpoint, yes, there are roads that can wait. If you're talking about, is this road surface, Cypress Street is an example. Okay, is it gonna last? Is it gonna outlast Seraphin Alita? No, it's not. Seraphin Alita is gonna outlast it. However, if we don't go put the overlay maintenance, the maintenance overlay or the cost, if we don't put the money into Seraphin Alita while the cost is less, it will become a road like Cypress or something. So that's where we are. And you look in those areas where we're spending a little bit less money or quite a significant less money, we are putting money into them because we don't want them to fail.
And I think that's why we're in the situation we're in now. Because.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
The maintenance wasn't done back then on some of these roads. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I agree. I'm not arguing. And look, it is, for those of you who've been on the jury long enough, you know that in past years, previous years, we have always had to put more money into Ward 7, 8, 9. It's not a matter of, oh, this one needs it more than that one. It's a function of the soil conditions and what we're dealing with. It costs more to do a road there, bottom line.
And something else, I can't speak for others, but, maybe if you want to speak for yourself, you can. I know in my ward, we were all asked to submit 5 roads. I prioritize the 5 roads. There's other roads that I think need work on them, but I didn't add them to my list.
I did the
I
same.
only submitted 5 roads. So just take that into consideration that, this list could be a lot longer in some of the other
Yeah.
wards if we would go prioritize.
With that being said, this is not all streets that needs to be completely done. A lot of these streets was patches. that I
And if
submitted.
you look at, and you can still go back to the previous book that I gave you, we stuck to that, so you will see like where you have, for instance, I'll use Ward 8, Tomplay Street and South Grove Street. That's patching that into,
Patches.
well, I'm
And I
not
want them
going
to
real.
Make sure that the rest of
Yeah.
the jury understand, this is
Uh,
not entire
I
street.
know.
3 of my 5 are just patching.
I brought up, for instance, Ward 4 had numerous roads, but if you look at the overall individual budgets of those roads, it's literally $2,000-3,000 worth of patching here and so forth. Yes, it does add up.
But some of these additional cuts, and you may have not stated expressly, but the bids came back higher than what your original estimates were.
Yes, they did. I mean, we
So
stated
that's
that.
requiring some of the cuts. It's not like we just,
It's
having
not
the-
all.
the bids came
correct,
back higher.
Correct. They did come back higher. The main,
How much higher than your estimate?
the asphalt paving price was, we estimated $160 a ton. And that was based on 2 neighboring parishes and we actually based it on the number 2 bidder of Barry Construction. And Epic Paving came back at $170 a ton. Across the board, on average, it's about 7% to 8% higher. Now, there are some roads, when you get into the soil cement, it does push that limit of being, in the 10 to 20% range.
yeah, mine was 25% that needed. some
Correct,
cement.
because you have some streets, and you and I discussed that, where we're cutting cement, and the price of cement's going up.
So how much the
So
bid came in over budget?
it came in over budget.
How much?
He got, came in
We
over
were
budget.
at, apples to apples, side by side, it was, the original budget that we presented to you was 3.6. Of quantities that we put out to bid, and what came in was 4.2.
But
Going apples to apples, side by side.
based off the cuts,
3.6 was cut down.
he was able to bring it down to 2.9. And if y'all remember, we had a budget of 3.5, but we took 475,000 out to help Road and Bridge with the farm to market roads, which left us right at 3.1, but we put a budget amount for
Part of
2.8.
all roads should be.
So
come out of
therefore-
out of their wards.
So therefore, we, based off of what he gave us at 2.9, we'd like to request another 200,000. We're gonna be in good shape. Got with Melissa earlier, based off of 2026 numbers. Should be a very good year, decent year, but I would like to go ahead and put another additional 200,000 on top of the budget that we got, and we should be fine
So let me
With the
just,
cuts.
With the cuts.
with the cuts.
so are you trying to get an average throughout each ward?
My first goal is to get you, my goal was to get you as close to 2.8 as possible, okay? When we started that, yes, we started at a base average, but you can look, and not to pick on you, Mike, but, Ward 5, traditionally, he has good soil conditions. He turns in his roads, we did them. He didn't hit that, so we pushed that money to those areas such as Ward 7, 8, and 9, where we know it's gonna need it. And that's been traditionally.
So you're trying to average out a certain dollar figure for
I'm
each ward?
trying to average out a certain dollar figure, but understanding that I know I'm going to need more money in those areas such as 7, 8, and 9 where it is warranted.
Yeah, I mean, for looking at it, I mean,
Yeah.
at
I
Ward
mean,
two,
you can
yeah,
look at them. I didn't hold,
Yeah, I mean.
I didn't
Ward-
hold Ward 8 to 300,000 or
Yeah.
Ward 9 to 300,000. I put the money where we felt. it
I'm
needed to
making
go.
more than 7 like it is.
Right, so farm to market roads, they're getting some of this as well.
No, they're not getting none of this. We took their money out.
That's what I'm saying. That's already taken out. That would have been.
Oh, we'd have been
into this.
straight. We'd have been good.
That would have been into
No.
this.
It wouldn't have been good.
We'd have been, but
He
based,
was still,
Still
no,
been
he
short.
just told us we were over $4 million.
but if he
Right.
came under 4, those little small cuts he was gonna be able to make wasn't gonna be as bad. Not as what, not what we.
No, it's not, it is more significant because you
It'd
have
have
to
been
transfer
better.
that, but
I think the farm market road ought to come out of whatever ward it's in.
Well, if the previous administrator messed that up, not just, he didn't do it.
No, I know, I'm not being,
They're the ones that wasted the money on the
No,
road.
no, Martin is saying
I
that
was saying, whatever ward.
that should be taken into account, that the farm to market road should be at least looked at in the wards that they're.
Yeah, but you can't,
You
you
can't
can't
do that.
split it up
No,
evenly.
you
If you
can't do
look
that.
at the mileage of roads in Ward 7 compared to some of the other wards, it's not even close.
Yeah, you
It-
coming from Bertrand, I mean, Bell Road's going all the way back there.
It-
Back
it's
by the
just not
church,
even
huh?
close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a lot of farm to market roads.
Farm market budget, it got blown out proportion last year.
Yeah. That better not happen
We put
again.
way,
That better not
way
happen
too much
again.
material,
Yeah.
too much waste,
Yeah,
lot of waste,
waste. So,
lot of waste.
I got a motion,
Before
on-
that, we never had.
I got a motion on the floor by Mr. McDermott to accept the budget,
Not happy, but I'm accepting.
2,948,122.13.
One question.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
On, Pond Street.
Yes, sir.
You check the, building on the
Yes, sir.
backboard,
Yes, sir.
because there's nothing for pond.
Yes. If you look, Pine, the sections of Pine that you were referring to actually fell into Ward 2. So, y'all both had submitted, the same street. And understand why, the dividing line is right there. So it's,
It's Pine Street.
Yeah.
The right side, it's on the south side of Pine.
Yeah.
Oh, the north side.
Correct.
We also
You see,
did a lot of.
The road's terrible.
yeah, it needed to be done, and you had both submitted it, so I didn't see splitting that cost. It's,
Mr. Chair, question for you.
Gotcha.
So when will our next overlay program be?
Well,
And
let's-
election.
Let's get through
Yeah.
with this one, bro.
Question for
We
you.
usually go every 2 years.
Okay. I got two roads on here that would never make it to the, never.
Know what you asked.
Just letting you know. No street in Sugar Cane Lane will never make it another 3 years.
What you asking for? What street you asking for?
No street in Sugar Cane Lane will never
No
make it.
street?
you know,
Are there any
I'm
others
looking
on there
for
that
it.
would make it 2 years?
That's what I was trying to see, where I could even cut patching in on this.
and if you look,
There's nothing.
I
There's
can't,
nothing.
and that's why I'm coming to you, gentlemen. This is as tight as I can cut it. I don't want to make a recommendation that we put money out there that's just gonna go down the drain, because if I don't put the significant amount, if I don't put enough money into what we're doing, you're gonna be wasting it.
it just is what it is. Where I am showing those cuts, I am still significantly patching those roads, so at least we can come back the following year and pave. You know, and where it is, where we cut the street out completely, I don't disagree with you, Mr. Pondville. They need to get done.
So the money we spending is in the budget
Oh, yeah.
for 25.
2026.
2026.
2026, because we not,
Ending 26.
Yeah, 'cause we ain't spent nothing in
not the
25.
200,000. We have 1.8 plus engineering. 2.8 plus,
2.8
2.8 plus engineering.
It's been approved already.
It's been approved,
Been approved.
but we need 2.9,
2.9.
2.9.
I looked at
That-
148,000.
So that's gonna be
The
another two
number that
hundred
you
thousand
see there
dollars,
is
and then that's
inclusive
gonna
of
increase the
engineering.
engineering, because the
Is,
engineering is based
is
on
there some
construction.
patching that can be done on No Street and Sugarcane Lane to help it?
No Street, possibly Sugarcane Lane, I'd have to say no, Sugarcane Lane. If you look at it, it's just, there's just not enough there to, if you even got equipment down there to patch,
There's nothing to patch already.
that's what I'm.
Yeah, look, Raw Cypress is almost
Yeah,
a 610
that's how
road.
much that
Yes,
costs.
I know
It's-
that.
We
Well, no,
cut and patched it.
Next year's
I
budget.
understand, I'm just trying to see if we can
No street,
do a little bit something.
I'd say
We don't. if you-
maybe some patching. We could get by with patching on those. Sugarcane Lane, there's nothing to patch now.
I got service all gravel. We'll go patch. In the last another 2 years.
Yeah, and I mean.
This is a recommendation. I mean, we don't have to make a final decision on it tonight. I mean, they're not gonna start the
Well, we still need to move,
Do-
still need to move. So based off his cuts, he can still get with Epic.
Right now, what we're trying to get to is we need to accept the unit prices, because while there is, and we did the math, it's across the board, it's about a 16% increase of what was provided to you. But on average, I realize some of you have higher differences than others, but on average, it's about 16% total. Like, in seeing the secondary bid that came back and talking, I think we're in the function of, we're close enough. If we go back out to bids, you risk it possibly coming in higher, because nobody knows what, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you what the price of fuel and asphalt's gonna do next year, if we bid it again, but historically, nothing's been coming down. Unfortunately.
What's the duration of the project that they're expected?
I would expect that again, we have to have a pre-con with the contractor. He is contracted to hold these prices for the year. Okay, I expect that he would get through the cut list that we have within 6 months. Weather permitting, he could get through it in 6 months.
So I would think you probably would not do 7, 8, 9 in the springtime because of water level. That would be the summer, right? That would be towards the summer.
We try to space it out. It depends if it's dry enough and water levels are low. Like for instance, right now, if we had temperatures that were sustaining and holding above 40, honestly, with the low water levels right now, I'd probably send them there.
Because what I was looking to see is if we can get to a point where we're down the road in the project and see what the fund has in it while we're still in construction, to see if we could put these 2 roads back in while they're in that area.
Sure.
But if they go do Ward 8 first, then it's not an option to
You
do
know,
that.
come back.
It's not as easy, but it is an option. He has to hold that price. And one thing that we did add to this year that we didn't do in previous years for that very reason is we do give them a mold cost. It's it's $1,000. So you're not talking, when you're talking about the cost of a street, it's not that bad, but it's enough incentive to say, hey, at least he can cover the cost of transporting his equipment there. So, you know, he's at your disposal for the 365 days. We do try to work with the contractor, because otherwise, the following year, your prices are gonna skyrocket if we don't keep it streamlined and work with them.
I'm gonna look at some of these patches again, Joseph.
I'll be happy to look at them with you. I understand where you are. I've looked at them and
and see if they, maybe just the patchwork could be extended for another 2 years, you know?
And
I got to get them.
And as Mr. Blanchard said, we have to have a starting point, but, you know, in years past, when we start cutting into roads and skinning off tops, if the patching doesn't exceed what we have, we do push that money, where it needs to go. So, you know, if you got through, let's say we got rolling and paving in March, say March, April, May, we see we're running a little underrun or something. I would, at that point, I would come to you and say, look, okay, here's where we are, gentlemen. We have these other roads that we know we put on the side. Before we remow, is this something y'all want to address while we're here? We've done that as.
It sounds real good, but realistically, we're
Yeah,
never
they
under.
Oh, another thing you do,
Well-
you go every 3 years, then your
Well,
road
because
deteriorate for another year.
That's what Jeff and I were just discussing,
I think
because
Ron
we
and
already
I-
dipping into 2026 money for the 2025 overlay program.
No,
So if we expend 2026 revenue, we're not gonna have money until almost 2029. So you
I
get
think
to.
Ron and I
We didn't
discussed
spend that
this
in
years
25.
ago. If
I know, but we
had-
y'all came up with that $3 million budget using 2026 money, knowing we wouldn't start construction till 2026. So don't act
Yeah,
like our money we
that's
getting
right.
in 2026
Yeah,
is
you're right.
extra.
You're right.
This is part of what we plan on
Right,
using.
you're right.
What I'm saying with the underrun is I'm aware
Yeah.
I've never seen this jury underrun the road budget. However, the quantities, the estimates we give you, we do have, there are some cushion in there because it's an estimate, okay? So traditionally, we do have some underruns when when we get in these streets. We have had streets where, we got a problem or we had to dig something out and yeah, we had an overrun, but the overrun of quantity is rare. The budgets that you have here are pretty solid. And if we get to a base and that base is in better condition and I don't have to use the estimate of 100 tons, it's by ticket. I mean, you pay for what we use.
So, is there available monies for shoulder material, because Like bond.
That's built into that budget.
mine has a drop off like this.
I'm aware that we built that into
It's
the
a
budget.
highly trafficked area. To
So
take the
shade
whole
over, just back-
subdivision, put some side streets.
Guys,
come
shade
through.
over?
Yes,
That's
sir.
another thing that should be
Wow.
considered, was the traffic on the street.
But the shoulder work, if it's on roads that are not being paved and needs to be done now, Road and Bridge can handle that now.
It's been down.
So,
Mine-
like Oakley Road, we had a problem,
That was
so
terrible.
it got canceled. We went in, we put some road material from where the residents are coming back.
Or do the
Um,
whole road, it's a part of Market Road.
yeah, but now with,
When it rains like it rained a few days back, you have to get a dozer to get your plant, your crop out.
I don't know about
You
that.
can't even go down there with a four-wheeler
I don't know
on the,
about
on the.
I just
Man,
think
you
that
know
we wait
He-
so
we
long
almost got
to
stuck by
repave
that
a
house.
road that by the time we get there, the road is completely destroyed. The sub-base, everything is completely destroyed. And Ron and I spoke about this a couple of years ago. We even brought it up for vote to maybe have a constant road program where each and every year we doing so many roads, and then we may be able to get away with it longer if we use the micro paving.
We made a recommendation to the jury. It's been several years. We made a recommendation to the jury at one point that you limit your road program to $1 million per year. Looking at the adequate budgets and knowing, I've done this for quite a number of years now. I can tell you that the $1 million was a comfortable number that the jury could sustain with the 1/2 cent sales tax. But you
We
would
may
have,
want to look at that again.
and,
Well,
and
and also.
I understand what you're saying, but it's taken 2 years to do design and construction, so
But
I don't-
the
we
difference
don't need
is if you
engineering
got
on
on
every
if you
single
got
road.
on a $1 million per year budget, he's correct. You're not doing, it's taking longer because we're looking, when we first start, we're giving 80 roads. So we're looking at 80 roads. If you know that right off the bat, you're doing $1 million,
See a lot of rules.
I can tell you in other parishes, where we've done this and we set the budget to $1 million. And these are parishes where they have significantly more means than assumption, they still hold it at 1 million. And the reason they do is basically the paving never stops. They have a paving season. And they know if that road didn't make it into this year, it's immediately rolls over to the next. And it is successful, I will tell you
Yeah,
that.
I just don't think our backlog would let us do that.
It would be.
Well, we gotta get through this one.
We'll never catch up.
No, I know. But
All right, I got a motion on the.
We'll
floor.
never catch up because some of the roads are not being prioritized by what they need to be done. We'll never catch up.
All right. Okay, I got a motion by Mr. Mathern, got a second by Mr. Bro, to go ahead and accept the lowest bidder of Epic Paving LLC for the 2026 road program at a,
You're basically gonna be accepting the unit price.
Unit
You're not
prices?
accepting the lump sum.
Okay.
If you're
Accepting-
setting a budget and you're accepting the units.
so we're accepting the unit prices of Epic Paving LLC.
Is your motion inclusive of your 200,000?
And I'd like to also add another 200,000 onto. the-
Yeah, I need it.
Okay. Yeah, inclusive of 200,000 added to the budget.
And just want to make it clear, that it is your recommendation to accept Epic Paving.
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
All right.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried.
I guess start tomorrow, bro.
all right, we call it,
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. Got, Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Bro, all in favor?
All right.
Meeting adjourned.
all right, we call the engineer grant committee meeting order, record reflect all members present. First item, update from special program director, grants coordinator.
The only thing I have was, we had a meeting, this morning for Consey and Canal. And they said they were still working on the H&H study, and they should have something available by the beginning of the year.
Okay. Anything else?
Mr. Chair, part of her report, on the grants, for Give It to Patty, rehab improvements. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the lowest bidder of, L&L Tree Service, for the tree cutting. The previous low bidder could not provide all documentations and proper, workman's comp information. So I would like to go ahead and use the next bidder, lowest bidder, L&L Tree Service, in the amount of $5,000.
Mike, do we need to deviate on that, or no, it can be just,
Under her report,
okay.
yes.
All right, so there's a motion to accept the, second lowest bidder, because the first bidder was unqualified.
No, they didn't want to get the proper.
That's unqualified.
I didn't speak to their
Not
qualifications.
qualified, but documentation, all right,
Unresponsive.
unresponsive. All right, so there's a bid, a motion by
Motion.
Mr. Diaz, second by, he's not on it, Mr. Bro, to accept, L&L Tree Service $5,000. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? That carries. Anything else, Keith? Is it? Update from South Central Planning and Development Commission, discuss the DRA application submission. Anybody have anything on it?
They didn't know our meeting was tonight.
Yeah, they didn't know the meeting was tonight. They said, Ebony said that she still was, looking into some information on the two, I think Ron gave her and Leroy gave her.
Potential projects to see
potential projects.
if they fall under the scope of the grant.
She said she was still looking into.
Update on Ag Center roof project. Consider a change order for the relocation of the exhaust fan for the concession stand project.
Yes, this was brought to you before at the last meeting. At that time, the contractor was offering, we had sent a request to the contractor to relocate the intake air for the exhaust fan to inside of the attic space. Because it takes the load off the roof and it also reduces the amount of the cuts in the building. The contractor had at that time submitted a price of $7,200, which was inclusive of his credit. After discussions, we felt that credit was a little light. You all had requested that I go back and rediscuss it. contractor came back with another price of $6,500 to install that fan. I know there's some contingent about this and I fully understand it. However, I do think it would better serve, the building to have this ductwork, this particular ductwork and this fan inside of the attic. We've been back and forth with the contractor on this and his cost. At this point, I don't think the $6,500 is worth risking having the building open any longer. And since we are recommending that we put it in there, we are recommending that we move forward with the $6,500.
I'm still just not convinced with it because it was on the drawings to put back on the roof where it was originally at. And he's having trouble putting it back, so why should the jury have to foot that bill? That's just my big question.
Shouldn't have to.
Right. He was on the drawings to put it back.
Yes.
He bid on and put it back, so he should have put it back.
So why?
Why
The
are we?
question
having
is,
to-
not putting it, you don't think it's sufficient, it's not gonna work as well?
You can't put it.
Huh?
You can't put it.
There was a coordination issue. He had a coordination issue when he
So that's
didn't
not our fault.
agree. This is not, we 100% agreed. He had actually submitted a request for change order in the amount of $15,000. I did not even bring that to the jury. It was denied immediately. He then came back, lowered that number because I think the bottom line is, gentlemen, if we're speaking honestly here, he underbid the installation of the hood drastically, okay? He put $1,500. That's what he put. That's his line item, 100% agree. He was to put the curbing back and put all of this. He's arguing that he thought he could just go back and put the hood the way it was. However, he did not coordinate the installation of the ductwork with the framing, so it made it now more difficult. He was trying to obtain a change order for that. During that, we went out and looked at it. We looked at it, said, look, comes down to the way it is on the drawings, he has to cut 2 holes and 2 curbs, one for the intake and one for the exhaust. Now that we're actually having an all metal framing structure, we can put the intake on the interior. When looking at that, it does give you a benefit because it's less holes in your roof, okay? So when we asked him, I did request of him a cost to relocate the intake vent to inside of the attic with a new intake fan. And that's the cost that's being presented. I fully understand, Mr.
It's a
Diaz.
lot easier for him to put it in the attic, so he should absorb that cost.
And I'm not arguing that, but this is the cost he's presenting. I've gone back and forth with him several times. My concern is here, I don't want to get into too much longer of a back and forth with a contractor arguing a point when we've got a roof exposed.
That's gonna be on him
If
if anything happens.
Understood, but it's still, whether it's on him or not, it's still costly to you as the jury because the building is out of position and you can't utilize it for what it's intended. Now, and you know this, Jamie, we can sit here and we can say, yeah, you're 100% correct. We can go after him and say, put our foot down, but if we go much longer, that's gonna turn into a longer argument, and the longer that building's out of service and exposed, there is some exposure to you, the jury, and that's what I'm trying to avoid here.
Mike, that's your line of work.
It was just wasting money. I mean, we see it all the time.
Yeah,
Which one is-
go, you need to put the finish.
We can't put it together.
It's a waste of money.
I mean, it's on the prints. He did on to put it back on the roof. You know that,
So if he would relocate it, it would cost, he's thinking it would cost more to relocate it? Sound like if we take it off the roof and put it on the wall, it save him some.
it's a lot easier.
It is an easier installation. He has to rerun some of the duct and he has to put a new fan. He has to purchase a new intake fan. The intake fan is about $1,200. He does have to get an electrician to wire that to the thing. So there are some costs there. And I'm not saying that those costs are not offset.
Our existing fan also worked. our existing hood system worked.
Correct.
If it had been put back just like it was, it would
According
cost us
to the
anything.
specs, according to the plan.
I'm of the opinion we tell him to put it the way it was designed, according to the plans.
So,
And if he's requesting a change in the design to put it in a different method that helps him and saves him costs, we shouldn't have to pay for that.
No.
If he underbid it as you suggested,
It's on him.
that's not our fault.
Understood.
did you have someone inspecting this?
Yes.
Did they catch it
Yes.
after the fact they caught it, or?
No, I mean,
Y'all made the contractor aware of?
he's well aware. We cannot get into it's beyond our scope and it is not within our purview, nor should we ever get into a contractor's means and methods. He understood, he did understand from the jump that he had to uninstall and reinstall this hood.
Well, we shouldn't be,
So-
shouldn't be discussing.
Go back to him and
Understood.
All right. Update on health unit repairs?
We're still in motion. Materials should, arrive today or tomorrow, and then contingent on the weather, we're gonna continue to put the new roof on.
Update on courthouse renovation project?
We received the contract, I forwarded it to Mr. Calabro for review.
And I think, Mr. Blanchard was on it as well. I don't have any issues. Looks like a standard form. I have no, questions.
No objection. And, Ms. Aaron's been working with the flooring company to coordinate the, installation of the floors in her office, and, we're working with her for the removal of some additional, cabinets and that's where we at.
Is the contractor aware of the time frame to get portion of the work done and invoiced to meet the LEGAP funding?
Well, that was continued, we're looking at the contract, yes. Our architectural engineer was well aware that we're on a timeline.
I think they
So,
gave him 135 days, from commencement of work. That's the contract.
But I know the contractor replied back and said that they had no comments.
they were okay with
They had no
it.
issues either, yeah.
But I just wanted to have you guys review it to confirm, and then we'll move forward.
Right.
I'll contact John tomorrow.
I guess just, I think that the point is that we have a time frame for that money.
Yep.
We just want to make sure that they're clear,
Okay.
they have a clear understanding as to the architect. on
Yes.
No action. Any other items on the engineer?
Motion to adjourn.
Was adjourned by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Burrow, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Worry about it when it breaks.
Not the budget,
Jeff can't wait for that.
You can start coming back to meetings.
Not me, I don't care. Keep y'all carried on.
Marty G said, Jamie, what I'm talking about? I said, Marty G, what you not gonna talk about?
Somebody put.
I gotta make sure I attend that, I gotta make sure I'm there for him.
Yeah.
All right, we'll call to order the regular meeting of Central Parish Fully Adjourned for December 17th, 2025. Let the record reflect all members are present except for Mr. Patero. Please rise for the prayer to be followed by the pledge. God, who teaches us by sending the light of the Holy Spirit into our hearts, grant that by the light of that Spirit, right judgment may be ours, and we may ever find joy in his guidance. Amen.
Pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any corrections to the minutes of December 10th? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Motion by Mr. Nakam, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment. This time we accept public comment. Any item on the agenda? Second call. Last call. Let the record reflect. There's no public comment. Next item, Drainage Committee report. Chairman Ponville.
Yes, sir. The Drainage Committee meeting was held this afternoon at 4 o'clock. All members were present besides Mr. Patero. So we're gonna get an update on the Himalaya Canal. Is currently scheduled to be completed on Friday, weather permitting, Mr. Bro. Also, Monterey pumps are scheduled to be advertised for the first of the year with these two items as an update, and we table number 3, and I'll present that all in form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Ponville. Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Finance Committee met at 4:01 today. All members were present. We approved to pay list of bills submitted through December 12th, 2025. We also approved to pay all bills submitted from December 12th, 2025 through the end of year. We reallocated $55.54 in the Gomesa Fund from Platteville project,
Read that number again.
$55.42. From Gomesa Platteville project to Gomesa Shell Beach project. We approved to accept the 2026 annual bids for public works, mosquito abatement chemicals, mosquito abatement aerial contingency spraying. We had the presentation of the budget message for the proposed budgets for 2026. And we approved the final amended budgets for 2025. We have one deviation for the memorandum of understanding with Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office to house the female inmates. And that agreement was approved for signing. Entertain a motion to accept.
Mr. President, I
Yes,
got
sir.
one question on item number 5 about the budget. On the general fund, Ms. Secretary Treasurer, it says all suggestions presented to the board by the Secretary Treasurer have been denied except for the non-allocation of wage increases for 2026. What other suggestions have you made as far as cut?
I have talked about travel. I have talked about, let's see, gotta get me clean. Every recommendation that I brought before this board, y'all hear, but we take no action on it. But I know for sure the most recent one was the travel ones that were brought up. I'd have to look back on my notes, Jamie.
Look back at them for us and let's see if we can bring that
I've
back
had
up.
conversations about recreation before, and that's not been addressed. I have had recommendations about maintaining what we have and not increasing, but that has gone to no avail. We still have continuous projects for new construction. I have made recommendations to not seek new grants which have matches attached to them because we need to finish what we have that has not been addressed. It's just the ones I can think of.
We
right
haven't
now.
applied for nothing new, no new grants, huh?
Constantly applying for things new, and everything has a match.
Yep.
And everything is maintenance.
Kim, if
And
you
we don't
could-
have money to afford what we have, but we continually do.
If you could, just go back, make us a list, and that way, we maybe hit the first of the year, the new year, we start looking at some of
Okay.
these cuts that we could possibly make too.
Okay.
So our general fund is not.
There a motion to accept the finance committee
Motion
report?
to accept.
Motion by Mr. Conville, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel committee report, Chairman Diaz.
Personnel Committee met at 4:25. All members were present. We approved to end the 6-month probationary period for the parish manager. We approved to end the 6-month probationary period for the general maintenance worker. We approved FMLA leave for special assistant secretary treasurer for 4 weeks in 2026. And 4, we approved to ratify the hiring of a custodian at grade 1, step 28.5. 5 was no action. 6, we approved the increase in pay for equipment operator 1B. We extended the leave, we approved extended leave for custodian for 2026,
Excuse me, Mike, just for the record, could you label it as a leave of absence?
leave of absence.
Yes.
And number 8, we approved the leave of absence for equipment operator 1 for 2026 also. And we approved the FMLA leave for equipment operator 3, drainage estimated for 4 weeks in 2026. I'll present this all in the form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Road and Bridge Committee report, Chairman Alcorn.
Road and Bridge Committee met this afternoon. Everyone was present except for Mr. Patero. We discussed the bids received for the road overlay program. And we approved the unit prices for Epic Paving LLC for the 2026 road overlay program. Also adding an additional $200,000 to the road fund budget. I'll give you that item in the form of a motion.
It was 200 or 250?
200.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn. Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering Grants Committee report, Chairman Nakam.
Yes, it is. Engineering committee met, all members are present. First item, we had update for special programs director, grants coordinator. And also accepted the low bidder, which was LL, the second low bidder for LL Tree Service at $5,000 for the Patty Park. Next was Sunset Planning wasn't present. We had update on the Ag Center roof project. And an update on the health center, health unit repairs, and update on the courthouse renovation. Back on the Ag Center roof project, there was a city change order for reallocation of exhaust fan and concession stand project, no action taken. Prevent all that form of the motion.
Motion by Mr. Nakam. Second by Mr. Porter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is discuss the intergovernmental agreement with the St. Mary Levy District and neighboring parishes relative to the Bayou Shank control structure.
Oh, really?
I think we need to get this however, just to overlook it and maybe put it on the next meeting, but I think for the numbers wise, it looked in line with what we.
Right, so we had a meeting with them, Friday, and all of the parties were in attendance at the meeting. And, we discussed the allocations. Originally in the agreement, they were asking for the last 3 years of maintenance costs to be reimbursed. They removed that from the agreement after we discussed it, and they're not asking for that portion now. So, their annual operating cost is, estimated to be about $150,000. But they're projecting that in a 7 to 10 year range, they're gonna have a major dry dock and refurbishment that they're expecting to be, in the $4 to $5 million range. So what they're asking for is an initial contribution for a total sum from all parties of 500,000 in this year, or in 2026, and years following to maintain that. And the future payments, so our initial portion of the 500,000 would be 92,500. Then for following years, we would be responsible for the 18.5%
You sure it's not 27?
of the,
The initial is not 27? What is this?
I know, that's 27.
okay, no, so that was, yeah, so they actually, yeah, so they restated, instead of the 92,500 for the year, they're asking for the 2750 by January 31st of 26. To get the operating costs funded for this next fiscal year, because some other jurisdictions did not have this figured into their budgets yet, and they'd already approved their 2026 budgets.
Well, neither do we.
Sure, but we did have a funding source allocated already, from the Restore Act. That money was allocated and has been now for some 7 or 8 years, but there's a spending plan that needs to be completed for that funding source before we can spend any money with it. So we have already tasked South Central Planning would help us develop that spending plan, but now it's kind of come to the top of the priority list since we have to allocate this fund and begin to pay with it. I don't know, did you have any communications with them regarding?
No, I know Kim,
But I went upstairs and just looked it up. I did pull the minutes from our, it was a July meeting and where we talked about the agreement and, we tasked South Central Planning with doing it, and there was talk about the St. Mary agreement and whether we needed that money or not. And the jury said, but that shouldn't stop us with the development of the plan because we need the plan no matter what. So I sent that to them so that they can start working on the plan.
So in subsequent years after, our total would be the 18.5% of the 500,000, which would be the 92.5 would be our annual contribution to it. And on an operations side of it, you know, it did close this past year prior to the storm. They've learned a lot from that and how the water behaved on basically since the storm switched courses. They've done some extensive modeling to help guide them on when it should be closed or not for a storm, depending on the path of the storm. So I was kind of impressed that they had as much data that they did have, that they were able to share with us to let us know what goes into the decision to close the barge. But what they did say, they wanted some input from each of the parishes as to what our threshold level was to where we start experiencing flooding problems, so that they can build that into their plan to make a decision to close it sooner than the 7 feet that is already authorized in the plan. So basically revising the procedures on how they determine when it's closed to reflect the needs of Lower St. Martin, Assumption, Iberville, and Terrebonne Parish. So I think all in all, it was a positive meeting. I know we're gonna have this commitment, but the jury's been knowing that this commitment was coming for a long time. And that barge has definitely proven itself to help us in this area.
Without a doubt.
So, yeah, so we did just get the revised agreement yesterday. So, like I said, our attorney hadn't reviewed it yet. So we'll look to have it on the first agenda for 2026.
And just keep in mind that, we may have to pay for this money out of pocket first. And I
Oh,
don't think
because
we
of the
can do
plan?
restore money to reimburse ourselves. And we're not gonna have that plan before January 31st when they want this money. So,
Let's see, but the amount that's due up front is the
27.
27,000.
Yeah.
So,
but y'all know a year goes by fast, so we really gotta put, make sure South Central Planning realizes it's a priority.
Y'all put a timeline on it?
Make sure that happens.
We're not with yet, I mean, but.
well, they were wanting us to approve it as soon as possible. That's why they sent it to us, but it's just short time frame for us to be able to review it and get authorization to proceed. So we'll table that item for now and put it back in January. Any other questions on that one? All right, discuss the Lavderville Ballpark maintenance checklist.
So, gentlemen, I put together a little checklist for you. It's about 4 pages long, and it distinguishes each field and gives a description of repair.
I did a walk through with Brian this week on it, and, at the end of the day, actually, the concession stand gotta be repaired. Just need a whole lot of cleaning up around there, and I'll be honest with you, I think come April or fall, in the spring, if they wanna have, spring ball, they'll be ready to go. We're gonna work on some lighting, we got some FEMA money possibly, we could get some lighting, Brian's gonna work on that. And, other than that, won't take a whole lot to get it going.
You know, can't we could get the trust, I talked to Brian yesterday, but get the trustees out there.
Yeah, I know it.
Make a mass cleanup.
Yeah, I know it. It won't take a whole lot to do that, but that's a good question. Do we have, does he have trustees?
Sure.
I'm sure somebody wanna get out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, cook up, get them a football. So we can work on that, but.
Yeah.
Contact.
We got about 10 people that are bonded, but it was,
Right.
so.
But we did get prices on the roof. The roof is all termite now, but it's unsafe, so we gotta do that, so I can finish my bathroom with repair, so I would, we got an estimate of 19,500 to repair the roof through complete gutter services out of the Porterville for 19,500, so I would make a motion to, use that money out of my rec fund. I think I got $40,000 balance, something like that.
35, what we said, around 35.
35, so.
He's gonna leave you with a 35,000?
No, that's what he has.
No, leave me a little bit, but I mean, without the concession stand being done, I really can't go nowhere. Because the roof covers the bathroom and stuff like that. So I'll do that unless somebody want to donate a little bit of money to help me.
Already donated.
I'll do it.
I second your motion.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Hold on, Charlie, say, how much you had, Charlie? 10,000?
He's
to,
with that Monterey project that.
We good, go ahead.
a motion by Mr. Nakam to approve the Complete Gutter Service LLC, quote of 19,500 for roof replacement, on the concession stand and over the bathrooms. Second by Mr. Mathern to be funded from the,
Ward 2, Rick.
Ward 2 Recreation. Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. And Brian, you said you have ongoing meetings with, contractors regarding the
Yes.
lights and.
Actually, tomorrow, we'll have a meeting going out to assess and to try to determine with the lighting contractor, how many LED lights it would take versus what was existing.
Where the funding source would be?
FEMA.
We have some people,
100%?
just a 90-10, but we have 52,000, $42.44 to spend.
Is that funding could only be used for lighting?
Yep.
Correct. Only to mitigate storm damage. That's why it could be used for termite damage.
All right, next item, request approval of ordinance 25-21, assessing grass cutting charges in the amount of $5,734.45.
We collected that money, that's
Already putting a limit on it.
a big expense right there. So we have no choice.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Pondville. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of temporary liquor license application for the following: Joshua Abear, Assumption Foundation for the Arts, 1/11/2026 to 1/12/2026 at 4770 LA1, Napoleonville Community Center.
I spoke to Josh about this. I really don't think we need to approve that, but he told me, because this is at the Napoleonville Center, and we don't have jurisdiction over that. But he told me the, Alcohol and Firearms Board told him Parish needed to approve, so it's here. But I don't, we've never approved any temporary license,
Yeah,
liquor
for the
license
village.
application for the community center.
That's for the, over here, you mean?
For the point of it.
In
That's
Napoleonville.
village, yeah, that's a village.
Right, it's not us, but he asked if I just leave it on because he was told that they needed it.
We can, let them know that the jury doesn't object to it.
Don't object, but yes, I think it's outside of our
Their
jurisdiction.
motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Any other business? Motion adjourned by Mr. Pondville,
Second?
second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. You didn't even put one on there. You took off the last item.
Oh, I did? Sorry, you know I'm not used to